Welcome to The Explainer. So let's talk about a really interesting question. How do you build your own life, your own identity, when your last name is one of the most recognized and, let's be real, controversial names on the planet? Today, we're looking at Kai Trump, who, at 18 years old, is dead set on doing exactly that. And this quote right here from a recent interview, it just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just some casual comment. It's her mission statement. It's basically a declaration of independence in a life that could so easily be defined by everyone else. You hear the name Trump, and, well, a million things probably come to mind. But for Kai, that name is the starting line, not the finish line. Her entire focus is on building an identity that's 100% hers, totally separate from her family's world of politics and business. Her life is just full of these incredible contrasts. I mean, on one hand, you have the massive public pressure that comes with her family. But on the other, she's just a teenager with her own huge, ambitious goals. It's a balancing act that, honestly, is hard for most of us to even wrap our heads around. Okay, and speaking of her unique reality, let's get into one of the most extreme parts of it. Something that's been a part of her life since she was a little kid, having the Secret Service around all the time. So, look at this timeline. It really tells a story of a life just interrupted. Can you imagine? You finally get to be a normal teenager, getting your driver's license, going out with your friends, all that stuff, and then suddenly, it's gone. You're pulled right back into that presidential bubble at the exact age when all you want to do is break free. So that really makes you wonder, right? How in the world does that constant surveillance affect all the normal, sometimes awkward, and totally great parts of being a teenager? Like first dates. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly captures how unbelievably awkward that is. She talks about the mental gymnastics of just trying to have a normal conversation, knowing that a security team is sitting right there. The level of self-awareness and control that must take, especially for someone so young, is just remarkable. So, with all this insane pressure from the outside world, how does she carve out a space that's truly her own? Well, for Kai, that space is the golf course. That's her domain. That's where she is in complete control. And you know what? It is absolutely working. People are starting to see her for her talent, not just her last name. This quote right here is proof. Her identity as an incredible golfer is starting to come before her family name, and that is a massive achievement. And make no mistake, she is not just playing for fun. Not even close. She's already committed to a D1 university and has her sights set on becoming the #1 golfer in the entire world. This isn't a hobby, folks. This is a relentless, hardcore pursuit of excellence. But what's really interesting is that she's drawn to the insane mental challenge of golf, the emotional highs and lows, that roller coaster. It almost seems to mirror the unpredictability of her own life. It's like she's using the sport itself to build that resilience. Now, that disciplined mindset doesn't just stay on the golf course. It absolutely extends to how she handles the most charged topic you could possibly associate with her family: politics. I mean, think about it. She has a front row seat to the polarization of, well, everything. She sees how social media especially just shoves people into these extreme corners, leaving pretty much zero room for any kind of real, nuanced conversation. Her solution? It's simple, but pretty profound. She just wants people to find the middle ground. She really believes that all the constant fighting is what makes people so unhappy. So she just chooses to stay out of it completely. For an 18-year-old, that's a remarkably mature take. And get this, even when she did step into the political world by speaking at the RNC, she says it was totally her idea. It wasn't some calculated political move from her grandfather's campaign. It was a personal choice she made to support her family. And this whole pragmatic approach is such a hallmark of her generation. As a member of Gen Z, she has this very practical, no-nonsense view of the world. And you can really see that in how she talks about technology and school. This is a perfect example of that generational shift. Remember when teachers used to say you won't always have a calculator in your pocket? Well, her generation's mindset is basically, why wouldn't I use the amazing resources I have? She sees tools like AI as an advantage you're supposed to use. It's about working smarter, not harder. But don't mistake that for taking the easy way out. Her discipline is relentless. It's not just on the golf course. It's in her schoolwork, too, where she's maintaining a perfect 4.0 GPA. So, where does all this toughness come from? She gives all the credit to her family, saying they taught her to have thick skin from a really young age. Honestly, it sounds like it was a survival mechanism she had to learn to navigate the intense public eye that comes with her last name. Kai Trump's story is just a fascinating case study in self determination. It shows us this young woman who is so consciously, so carefully building her own identity against a backdrop of immense pressure. And it really leaves us with a powerful question to think about. In a world that is so quick to judge and label everyone, what does it truly mean to define yourself, completely on your own terms?